No,
Definitely.
I won't be here. Well, I might be on
You'll
Sunday.
be one of a dozen
So
people
what about
sitting
the-
in this auditorium again.
Yeah,
4th or 5th?
the 4th I could do.
Do you want to switch it?
I don't care. I'm free, so I'll do whatever works for.
May 4th.
Sure, but it would be nice to. Is everybody here on the 4th?
May 4th?
I'm not here on the
May the
1st.
fourth be with
Just
you.
I'm not
be a
here on
matter
the
of, I just have
Oh,
to
yeah.
check with Darlene and make sure they could
I am here.
do it on the 4th instead of the 6th.
It's a bank holiday in England. Why
Oh,
does
dear.
my,
Is anyone, okay, in case that doesn't work, then I guess I also need to check for the 6th,
sorry.
which is what we hope to have it on. Is there anybody who isn't here? Because I remember last year when we had 3, so I
Let me
just want to
just
make sure
check.
we would have a quorum.
I'm
What
here
day?
on the 6th.
If we end up having it on the 6th, that Wednesday, is anybody else besides Matt away?
I think I'm good that day.
May 6th is Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
God willing. I'll
Okay,
be
now you said you're here.
breathing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I will check on that, if we could, and then I'll get back to you. Do you want me to go let them know about the mics and have them move these?
I can say it at the beginning. All right.
What's that?
Okay.
Great, thank you. Let me just,
All right, I'll bring this meeting to order. Start with a call of the roll. Penny Lazaro.
Here.
Sue Dempster. Here. Sarah Crossman. Here. Matt Crozier.
Here.
All present.
great.
Penny, you signed my line.
Approval of the March 18th, 2026 minutes. I'll make a motion to approve the March 18th, 2026 minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Was I here?
So, Penny.
I was here,
You were here, okay.
and
So, all in
Sue,
favor?
Matt was absent.
So it was just me. Who has to abstain from that one?
Matt, it says
Me.
on
Just
the
Matt?
minutes.
Okay. Today's agenda, I am gonna make one brief change, or motion to make a brief change. I'm gonna motion that we move visitor comments to, right after the superintendent's report, just to give people a chance to take a look at the calendar packet and come up with comments or questions.
Second.
Sarah seconds, all in favor?
Thank you.
All right. Board chair report. I will just say, though, for public comment, there was some people that said it was hard to hear on the live feed last time, so if you could just come down closer, we'll flip a mic around when you want to say or have a comment or question, just so that it's audible to the public that are listening online. Personnel,
Nothing under personnel.
okay. Principals report.
Good evening. We have been continuing our work with our curriculum and instruction at the 6 to 12 level. Our consultant has been working on aligning our curriculum with the Maine state standards. And a lot of that work will be used in making sure that our students are prepared to meet those standards and for their futures. Our other consultant has been working primarily with literacy and improving our literacy scores. Now we also have our literacy consultant working with our math team leader, Kat Paquette, who is using her immense knowledge of math to help our staff come together in developing a math curriculum that will improve our student performance in the areas of...
John, can I cut you off 1 second? I think we've,
You need a mic.
I need a mic?
We
Yeah.
can't hear you.
Yeah, you can't hear.
Sorry.
oh,
Can we pop it right up out of there?
Can you detach it from the?
Yeah, I think it just
I think
bounced
you
off.
can, just pull it out. There we go.
Start over.
okay. Thank you, sorry, John. Sorry.
That's okay. Good evening. Hopefully, are you getting thumbs up that people can hear me?
I'll let you know.
Oh, okay. So we've been continuing our curriculum work at two levels, at 6 to 12. We have one of our curriculum consultants helping our staff align our 6-12 curriculum to meet state standards and align with those standards to make sure that our students meet those standards, so that our assessments and our instructions are in perfect alignment to meet our students' needs in that manner. We have another consultant that's been focusing on pre-K through 5, working on literacy, and our scores have gone up significantly in those areas, and there is good collaboration in the area of literacy with our pre-K through grade 5 literacy curriculum. We also have Pat Paquette, who's one of our most experienced math teachers, and her strong background in math is leading some of the curriculum work that we're doing with our pre-K through 5 in an effort to improve our student scores on the main through assessment and at the NUIA testing. We're having our literacy consultant work with all of our pre-K through 5 in conjunction with the math consultant to help set goals for our students so that we can create data walls so that we can measure the learning that students are performing, that they're growing. Aside from the curriculum and instruction work, our students have been doing all kinds of amazing things. The 7th grade recently went to the State House and were able to get a tour of some of the buildings and some of the legislative chamber. Very, very cool. Our 9th and 10th graders came back from the Boston Legacy trip. I had the privilege of attending or chaperoning that trip with several other staff members. And with the students, they were so grateful for the opportunity to experience some of the things that we did. We went to an art museum. We went to some of the historic sites, such as the Boston Tea Party. We walked along the Freedom Trail. We experienced some amazing guides that were able to really connect the history and kind of made it come alive for us. And then, of course, they had the experience of, going out and figuring out tips in our group dinners and seeing just a different part of the world. And our 11th and 12th graders did the same thing in Washington, D.C. They got an opportunity to get a tour of the Capitol, to go to the Smithsonian, to Ford's Theater, to the Holocaust Museum. Those are, for some of those guys, it's once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And we are so grateful to the Widows Island Fund for making that possible for all of our students. We have a lot of events up and coming. I will just say last week we had Bill's music night inside the cafeteria, and we had over 50 kids participate in that, and that was fantastic in that spring music showcase. Today we had Madam Pei orchestrated the Manny Musicale in the gym today, and we had a lot of 6 through 12 students participating in that, and that was a lot of fun. That was my first time experiencing that. And of course, parent conferences are tomorrow night and on Friday. And we have an assembly tomorrow, 6/12 at 9:35. That was originally on Friday, but we changed that because we had a number of Midco students that wouldn't have been able to attend. And we have a K-5 assembly on Friday at 11 a.m. A lot of other events coming up. It is springtime finally, and it's nice to see students getting out and beginning to be able to participate in athletics out on the fields. And school is going to continue to go by quickly, and before we know it, the year will be over. We are all looking forward to a strong finish to the school year.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
All right, and in realizing an error I made when I moved the public comment, I'm going to make a motion to actually, instead of do it after the superintendent's report, put it in after capital improvement plan under old business. Anybody want to second
Oh,
that?
I'll second, sorry.
Penny seconds, all in favor? All right, superintendent's report?
Okay. I should have done this under personnel, but essentially my report tonight, as I mentioned, is the work we've been doing on the budget and those pieces, but I do have a personnel piece. Erin Lyman, who is our college and career counselor, will not be returning in her full-time capacity last year. She let me know. I don't have her formal resignation as of yet. She had lovely things to say about the school and how much her son enjoys it here, but she is able to stay on in a contracted services capacity, which will assist us in maintaining support for some middle and high school level students for those pieces that we know are really important, and of course that is certainly her expertise. So we wish her all the best. That's certainly a big loss, but I'm very pleased that she can at least stay on with us in a partial capacity to do that secondary piece and potentially with some middle level students as needed. So.
All right, is that it?
Yes.
Okay, new business, presentation and consideration of FY27 budget.
Okay. So I'd like to first say thank you to the board members. I know it's lots and lots of workshops, lots and lots of time reviewing things. I just as last year, appreciate all the questions you ask and you know, all the requests for information to make sure you understand everything that's in here. Much appreciated. Certainly one of the most challenging parts of being a board member is working through the budget process. So we have an article that will come out in the wind tomorrow or Friday, whenever that comes out, with some preliminary information about the budget. And we'll be sending out to print for our budget flyer very shortly, and that will either be here right at the end of right before kids leave for break or probably as soon as they come back. So we'll get that out around the community as we typically do. We'll make sure we have links posted on the Facebook page. You'll be able to click the link or use the QR code, or you can pick up one of the packets around the places where they've always been traditionally distributed. So that will have all that additional information, and you can go to our website as well. So for this year's budget, the largest challenge for us was a significant reduction in state aid of $193,000, almost $194,000. And that reduction is because we have 6 fewer students and we have lower poverty rates. So essentially the funding formula calculates that you have a higher ability to contribute local funds. That's just how that works. Unfortunately, I believe this board has really worked diligently to offset that increase as best as possible with the least impact on our current programming and staffing levels and as little impact as possible to our service levels that are currently in place for students. And so the end result of that is a local increase of 2.93%, or just over $130,000. So considering the loss in state aid and contractual agreements and other pieces like that that you have, you know, just as with everyone else, we have increases in, you know, our food costs, all those pieces. I appreciate the work you did to keep that budget as low as possible and that lowest possible local increase. So that is what I have for you. Yes, 2.93. And it should be in your, it's in their packets, right? Yes.
Did you guys grab
Hillary, what happened to all the? Oh, gosh, we had 12.
Just. I have no idea
That's it, right
if they were up on the table.
No, I'm
I
good,
don't know whose
thanks.
that is. They were just, I think we just put them over there. I thought they were in the packets. Oh, okay.
All right, any other discussion? I'm gonna make a motion to approve the 26-27 budget.
Second.
Penny seconds, all in favor?
Thank you very much for your time on that.
I do just want to take a minute to acknowledge the request of that extra K-5 ed tech. The board acknowledges the importance of classroom support, and, you know, we really appreciate the thought and the advocacy behind adding that position. But due to the budget constraints this year, you know, it's never an easy decision. You want to give all the support all the time, but we as a board just felt that this increase, with the components in the budget that we requested to see, is what we can feel good sending out to the taxpayers. So, you know, we'll continue to monitor the needs moving forward, but right now that is what the board finally came down to. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. Okay, old business, capital improvement plan.
Okay, so no changes from the last time that we looked at this. Again, I appreciate Al was here to answer a lot of the details and questions that you had. And we bring this to you, I guess, generally each year, just to ask for your approval and so that we can have this in the minutes that we've reviewed this. I guess I should add, after you viewed this, the board did approve adding the air conditioning, with great thanks to PI for their contributions for that to happen. And the field work that is in here, we have $18,000 of field work in the budget that will start right off and go from July right through to help us with growth control and just starting to really bring those fields up into a better shape and condition. I think that's all I had to add to that. And we'll, you know, as we update this throughout the year as anything changes. So we'll be looking at it with you again in the fall, I'm sure.
I'll make a motion to approve the capital improvement plan.
Second.
Matt seconds, all in favor? All right, public comment. Brian, if you want to come down and grab a mic, that would be much appreciated.
I should have probably said the calendar. I wonder if I should explain those calendar pieces.
I think we can do it in our discussion. Nope, come on down.
We got-
Oh, you got that one? Okay.
You want to play me a beat or something? This is awkward.
They're just-
Yeah, just, I got a couple questions. They're not all pertaining to the calendar.
Yep.
But on the calendar, just something to consider as the board continues to have discussion. I think last time, again, thanks for putting the public comment in the board packets there. But I didn't see this comment, so I'll say it again. Where February and April break, where March break is in the middle there, in either calendar, it makes a 10-week stretch and then at least a 14-week stretch to the end of it. That's just a long way to go. If you slide it back a week, it makes it much more even. Something that I considered. There you go. What I would propose discussing would be moving it back to the last week of March and the very last week, half week of March. So I realize March break then spills into April. But I think an 11-week chunk in the wintertime and then a 12-week chunk is better for kids, in my opinion. But I'm sure there's lots of things one way or the other. But the longer you get to summer, the longer stretch you go,
This next week.
much more learning happens earlier in the year than later. The other question I have about the student count you mentioned, that's an even clearer description. So we've lost kids
and revenue, are these specific to the packet, the free and reduced lunch packets that people fill out? Or is the, how,
Not necessarily
so how is it determined about,
direct cert. I think you just. Sure.
So we don't do free and reduced forms anymore because of the program we're in. We send out the economic status forms that people fill out and send back in. And that's how Amanda bases off filling in what status the child falls under. Free, reduced, homeless. There's that whole list that she has to.
okay, and so those then,
Direct cert.
so
There's
everybody
direct cert.
fills them out, or are those, because the free and reduced
If-
lunch?
If
form-
parents choose not to fill them out, that's not they don't have to.
Okay.
Like, we encourage
Yeah.
parents to fill them out and send them back, but it's not it has nothing to do with free and reduced lunch as far as them qualifying at this point.
Sure, if it's lunch is free, okay, but I wonder if, so the form to fill out though is an optional form?
Yes, but we do something also called direct cert, which means students that are on that roster already, we direct certify them so that we make sure they're already automatically included in that count.
So then somebody, I presume, has a list of who, maybe if they've never filled it out but are in middle school, you couldn't direct certify them because they've never filled it out? But can the list
I know
be,
the answer to that.
So direct cert is more or less for your SNAP, your TANF, your welfare, your main care,
That comes
Yeah.
from the state.
which comes from the state.
Yeah, list.
got it,
The
so it's,
From the
forms
state.
that we send home at the beginning of the year, it just says an economic status form. And
so if those people don't receive something from the state, you wouldn't get a list that says they're on,
yes, we approve a direct cert list. Is that what you mean?
Yes, so
Is that your question? Sorry.
so the state tells you, Brian's family shows up on this list, so you can
Yes.
direct serve,
Yes.
whether I fill out the form or not.
So
Yes.
then what happens is then we have to go into NutriKids, declare
Yep.
A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
And then the secretary has to go in, or Amanda, excuse me, she has to go in and then she'll put in SNAP, TANF, Z welfare,
Sure.
A welfare, homeless, foster, there's that whole list of,
Yeah,
and that's where they determine, the state will take that synergy child count.
so then do those students that line up on that, for whatever reason, they don't track, do they track how often the student is in school, how much of the day they're enrolled? I'm not trying to trick you, I'll tell you my next
No,
question
I
afterwards.
don't believe
So,
I think it's based
If-
solely off income.
so if a homeschool kid, for instance, were to come as they're allowed to art, music,
Oh, yeah, I
PE,
see where you're
could they qualify in that for certification?
I don't believe so, because they're not considered our student.
Okay, I'm just
Yeah, I
curious.
believe I'm
Since
not-
if the numbers are that close, there's, fair
Yeah,
number of
the
homeschool
numbers
kids.
were-
If they were to come for that, because you could take attendance for them if that was the issue, but,
Yeah, no, I think because homeschool, they're not
Yeah.
considered a student.
she's
Great.
right, they'd end up in there as a double count. So if they're in there on the homeschool roster in our portal, we can't actually, you don't see them on the other side because they'd get double counted in there, yeah.
sounds great. Thanks for that. I do think that's not an easy question to answer. I'm sad to hear that Aaron's going. Has there, I know you know who I'm married to, but have there been internal communications about that? Because the $30,000, $20,000, the money that was added last time for consulting fees, I assume that's not going to be a day-to-day thing that she's here, but she does a significant amount of work during the whole school day in student support and teacher support. Are there internal plans on how that is going to be adjusted next year or moving forward with other personnel that are here either more days a week this year or something like that? That's,
Answer that.
Either you or John, yeah.
Well, we've known about it for like 5 days. So no, that just hasn't occurred. That hasn't occurred yet. There will be conversations about how we do that, but we haven't had that meeting yet.
okay.
We've discussed what the challenges are, what the losses are, what will need to be filled in. and how we handle that, we need to decide that going forward after we have some.
Yeah,
personnel
so I'm just
meetings.
not necessarily advocating more for, more to get put into the budget or anything like that of the sorts, but with teacher requests for more support in the form of an ed tech, and now losing someone who's supports students at all levels of the school.
There have
That's-
been discussions around
Sounds great.
that.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
All right, any other public comment?
Of course.
Yeah, my first comment is this is super awkward. It probably isn't going to make more people want to attend meetings. Are you planning on meeting in here regularly now?
Yeah.
I don't recommend that, but anyway.
I'm sorry.
That's my
it's-
opinion.
It's far easier.
That's my opinion. I don't think it's welcoming to people, and this is super awkward, so that's just my opinion. I just want to echo what Brian said, this news about Aaron and that vacancy and just I realize it's 5 days, but your comment to do contracted services for grades 6 through 12, that's a major concern. I'm just going to echo what Brian said. I am disappointed about the ed tech not being in this budget. I heard Ally acknowledge it. There was no acknowledgement of it on Monday, which I was very surprised by, since it dominated the conversation at the prior budget meeting.
When you say there was no acknowledgement of it at the Monday meeting, what do
Not
you
that I
mean?
heard.
No, we talked about it.
Monday,
Yeah, because we had looked at the budget with those pieces in there, and then we, as a fine for today, to what we could vote on, we took those pieces, like, okay, this is what it looks like with that ed tech, this is what it looks like with the grub control. Then we said, based on what those percentages were that we saw, we said we would like to see XYZ for the Wednesday budget meeting. So that was acknowledged.
okay, I'll correct what I said. It was acknowledged on paper, but there wasn't any discussion about it that I heard, and I was just surprised by that because Penny really voiced her concern about that. Sarah echoed it, and so I was surprised. I didn't raise my hand to make comment. And then the meeting this afternoon at 4:45, I must have missed that. It wasn't posted on the school website. The regular meeting was, so I came here expecting that at 5:30. So that's my bad, but also I didn't see it posted, the 4:45, besides a paper on the door. Sorry, I think I had one more thing. For the, what you did discuss about getting out to the community, a kind of a synopsis or a one-pager to explain budget cuts or increases for people that may not go through things with a fine-tooth comb. I look forward to that. And I guess just a suggestion for a format I thought would be helpful is going line by, not line by line, but cost center by cost center. You have A through K. Just regular instruction. Is it increase or decrease? What's that mostly due to? 3%, whatever the percent increases for salaries and benefits, obviously, but any other major increases. There are several salaries that seem to be going up a great deal. We've increased our administration budget from last year, from the year prior. Like, is that what we want to stick with? And just those sorts of things. I've had people ask me about that, and I think each A through K showing an increase, a decrease, the cuts that are there, increases, and justifying them really quickly. I think that would be really helpful to see each cost center, whether it's increasing, decreasing, and major reasonable.
Thank you. Sam, you might have missed it that day, but I do have that one pager, and we used that last year, which has exactly what you said. It really gives a synopsis of each cost center and what's up, what's down, or why with that quick sort of piece. So
Each cost center would get like just a quick, this is pretty much the same, this is only increase, this has a significant increase, and this is the reason why this has a significant decrease.
yeah, it has all of them, and it puts it on a one pager with an explanation for each cost center with actually written notes on there.
Exactly what I hoped to see.
Yep, so, and we had that last year too, and so now that we have a final budget, we'll have that again. And I guess I just would add, we actually have a reduction in administration in this budget, and you have two cost centers, you have system administration, and then you have school administration. But within those cost centers, everyone in there is not necessarily administrators. So we do have an increase and an increase in time, but it isn't an administrator, and we actually have a reduction in administration again this year. So, thank you.
Did I need to do this when we approved the budget?
You can do it at any.
I'll just do it at the end,
Yeah.
okay. Brian?
Can you just expand on that, the reduction in administration?
Yes, we have a reduction in the amount of time in the special ed director position, which is an administrator. And the increase in an administration cost center is not for an administrator.
No, I know that,
Yeah.
but I'm asking for the specifics on it.
Sure.
So, we have a reduction in spend from this year to next year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the calendar.
Okay, so let me just switch gears here. I got too many papers in front of me. So I shared with you, just for your information as you move forward with your discussions about the calendar, just a handful of things which are just good to know and to be aware of. The first piece was I dropped into your folder the Mid-Coast calendar that you had asked for, which shows their students are starting the 1st. And then I put in there the calendar we looked at last time with the correction. There was a day that was off in November that Ally had mentioned, and so that just has it says November count correction at the top, so that calendar puts you out on Wednesday the 16th. So it would give you one makeup day if you needed to use it prior to Juneteenth. We were working hard to try to get students out before Juneteenth and estimated that added between $3,600 and to $3,900 to the budget, which we have not included in the draft that you've passed. And again, if you settle on a different calendar, then we're going to have to just figure that piece out. The other piece that was in the statute just backed up what I shared with you around calendars needing to be coordinated regionally around the tech center, but that even if our calendar is off, which yours traditionally has been each time you do the March break, we just make a commitment to send our students on their calendar. Although that does create some challenges that year for our students that go over there because, for families and students, if they are going to travel, it just creates some challenges because there are weeks that we're on vacation and they have to stay to be in school, and then there's weeks that we're on vacation, they've got to go, and vice versa. And then the other piece that I shared with you was about holidays. A question came up around the years when you take the March break instead of February and April. Could you go to school on the Monday holidays during the weeks of February? And so I shared with you the statute around conditional and unconditional holidays, and when you have to close and when you don't have to close. And essentially what that leverages for you if you chose to do so. I'm not necessarily recommending you be the only school in the state that does this, but you could have school on New Year's Day, January 1st, and you could have school on Washington's birthday, the 3rd Monday in February. And the statute explains that if you do that, you have to devote time during that day to have a special observance of that holiday if you have school on that day. So again, that was just in response to the possibility, could they go on that Monday holiday in February? Could they go in April? No. Any of the other days? No. That possibility exists. Don't recommend you bring kids in on New Year's Day. The other piece we talked about was snow days, and just so to clarify, it's 5 hours to make up a snow day. If it's 5 1-hour blocks in this, and that's in your statute that you have. I don't know why, when you can call school at a half a day and it can count if you fed them lunch, why you have to make up 5 hours and it can't be just 3 hours. I don't know. I'm just letting you know what's in the statute, and I know you've got some history with that before where you've done that if you needed to. And so, to determine your calendar today, I would say, if that's a lot to tackle all at once, the snow day piece we could figure out later. I know traditionally you went a lot of years where you probably didn't have snow days. You know, you get a lot of rain, and then we've had two really odd, you know, this winter, you've had a winter. So it's a little bit different. If you were to look at the other draft that I sent you, which is starting students after Labor Day, so students would come in on September 8th. It still puts our teacher workshops the two days before. That calendar takes you back to, the last student day would be the Monday following Juneteenth. And just in case you're wondering, you know, could we, instead of coming in on a Monday, could we go the Saturday and do a half day and be done that way? You can't, because you actually can't have school on that Saturday, the 19th. And the official holiday becomes, because it's Saturday, the holiday's taken on the Friday.
What does L mean?
L is last day, last student day.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I'll fix the key.
Looking in the
I've
key,
changed
yeah.
it, I've changed it so many times, I think. I agree with the suggestion around if you do, you know, if you continue with your traditional 2-week break next year, which, and I've heard a lot, as I said, both ways. There are people who like it that way, people who like it the other way. I left it, you know, as your tradition would have been. I don't disagree at all with what people have said about moving that back a week. You know, if you're gonna move that back a week, you end up avoiding most of the spring break college travel. I don't know, you know, again, everything falls wacky because Labor Day's late. You have all these odd things where it runs into, you know, a few days in April. I don't know in terms of athletics, anything like that disrupts. I would have to defer to John whether, if we move that back a week, is that going to create challenges around soccer season? I'm assuming it wouldn't, because that's what they've done before, but I don't know.
It means that they'd be starting, if you move that week, the week of the 15th vacation and flipped it, like it was suggested, to the 29th, that would run into the first full week of the athletic season.
Okay.
So that would, theoretically, kids would have to make you know, if you're gonna be on a team, you need to be a commitment to be at the practices. So that could potentially have an impact on the school's ability to have a team.
Okay. So would they be practicing starting the week or 2 weeks before that, traditionally?
Yes, that would mean that their first full week with a full team might not be till the next week.
Okay. We do a meet and consult. This is a matter of educational policy, but we do what's called a meet and consult. I send it to the teachers union. They give us feedback, which comes back. And in this, you know, in this year, last year there wasn't any feedback. In this year, the feedback was the teachers really, in the past, they've had their 2 workshop days the week prior to students coming, so then you have sort of a little bit of time before. And they requested you know, you want to make that summer as long as possible, so that's why you have those 2 workshop days backed right up against students starting the next day. I just wanted you to know that came from teachers. But the other piece that's in there, I guess, where you could gain a day, it was if you did the September 2nd start with students. Right now you have the Friday holiday in there. We put that as a vacation because, again, that was feedback about the Labor Day weekend being important. And so, so that's why you have that, you know, they come in 2 days, then 4 days, then 5 days. I suppose it's a place you could, you know, that you could gain a day. I don't know how popular that would be. I don't remember last year well, I guess it didn't matter because of the way Labor Day fell.
I think having come off of more than 2 months off of school, we could probably just have them go to school on that day.
Yeah, I don't,
In my
you know, I
opinion.
don't know what the traditions are here, so if we'd, you know, if we'd have a massive student attendance issue that day, that might make it, that school might even count, I don't,
What day are you talking about?
it would be September 4th,
On the first version.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if you did that, if you went to school on the 4th, your last day would shift from Wednesday, the 16th, to Tuesday, the 15th, and so I would say potentially, you know, from what I've seen, you could make up your snow days fairly easily if
That's
you
what I
need to,
mean.
without
Give us
having to
some
do
wiggle
your
room.
5
Yeah.
1-hour Wednesdays.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a motion to, We're looking at calendar, I'm looking at draft 2,
Okay.
to approve it, but instead of having the March break from the 15th to the 26th, move it starting March 22nd until April 2nd.
Okay, got that.
Well, I have questions.
That's fine, I make a motion and then we can
Okay.
have discussion.
Yeah.
Can I slow you down for just a second? So March 22nd?
Yep.
And calendar 2 would be start date of the 8th?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Ally.
Discussion?
Well, I have a few
Questions?
questions. If we did away with that 4th, that would be good, or if you want to keep the 4th, I think we should start school September 1st. And also, I just want to say, I guess I would like more data on like how much kids are missing school in February, where there would normally be that break because of sports and tournaments and stuff. And then even in April, when we're having 1 week, or parents or people taking their kids out of school longer than the week, because I'm not a supporter of 2 weeks in March. I think we should stick with the traditional 1 week in February, 1 week in April, because one, student fatigue, and it just breaks up the year better, I think, for students and teachers, and just, I feel like it just would eliminate that. But I do feel like I hear a lot of, even with the 1 weeks, I hear a lot of people taking their kids on vacations longer than the week anyway. I was wondering if we had any information on that. And then also, I just feel like not, as a community as a whole, like percentage-wise, I don't think a lot of people, are able to go on vacation for 2 weeks, and economically speaking. So I don't know. I'm not a big proponent of 2 weeks in March. That's just where I think, and I think we should do, if we're going to keep that holiday on the Friday, we should start on the 1st. But that's my input.
Holiday on the Friday before Juneteenth, you mean?
No, that September 4th, if you're going to keep that day to have a long weekend, because I noticed Mid-Coast, the school starts on the 1st as well, so that would start our students right along with them.
And actually, you know what?
September, they start on the
Does Mid-Coast
1st,
go to
right?
school
I think we
on
talked
that?
about the fact that the workshop would have to be the 28th and then the 31st, the last
Yeah,
time we
we
looked at
did
this,
talk
and
about
that
that,
was
yeah.
not ideal.
Mid-Coast does, I stand corrected, please. Mid-Coast does not go to school on the Friday before the Labor Day weekend. So they bring students in September 1st, 2nd, and
Yes.
3rd, but then they don't have school on Friday the 4th. So they have a
Right.
4-day weekend as well.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the motto I suggest if we have that 4-day weekend.
Okay.
Even though if we did, the workshops would have to be Friday and Monday, as opposed to back-to-back days. I don't know how that works for scheduling, but that's probably not
We would leave the
ideal.
workshops on, if we bring, my understanding was about bringing students in after Labor Day. So that draft still has the teachers coming in but on Wednesday and Thursday, not on Friday, because, I just said the assumption stands that, you don't want anything going on that Friday before Labor Day weekend, so, but, I mean, if we move teachers to not starting until the 8th and the 9th, your last day wouldn't be until the 23rd of June, with not including any snow days.
Oh, I'm not suggesting that.
Okay.
I'm suggesting starting students on September 1st. And but we talked about that, and Sarah brought up a point where that would mean your workshops would be backed up to,
Monday and Tuesday.
no, because the first day a student would be on the 1st. So it would be Friday and a Monday, which is not ideal, I guess.
It's not ideal.
Yeah.
I mean, we have trainers that come in and
Yeah.
things like that. I mean, ideally for us, we would do, our 2 teacher days
Yeah.
would be back to back.
I just want to speak to what John talked about, the spring sports season for that first week in April, if we're on vacation then. It sounds like it will affect that, and I don't know if that's great.
John?
I'll just clarify, it could affect it.
It could affect it, okay.
Doesn't necessarily mean that it will affect it. Depends on whether the kids' families go on vacation or not.
Okay.
All right, so I put a motion out there. I don't know if anybody wants to second it. We've had some discussion.
And that's for calendar 2.
That's for calendar 2, moving March break ahead a week. I say ahead. I don't know if that means if it's back or ahead. I say ahead.
Starting on the 22nd?
Yes.
Okay. And what about the beginning of the school year in September? Keeping it that
The
way?
8th.
For students, right?
For students.
And the workshop days, leaving them as they are?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll second.
Sue seconds. All in favor? Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else want to make a motion?
Oh, did it not pass?
Did not.
Oh,
did
I'm
not
sorry.
pass.
I couldn't see Sarah. I'll make a motion that we accept the one on the top that says the kids start on September 2nd. The 2 workshop days are the 30th, 31st and 1st, and leave March vacation as is. But I'm also against it, but I know that's probably something that maybe has to be changed later.
Do you want to take that vacation day out?
Yeah.
I
You wanna take that
mean,
vacation day out.
You have my vote if we split up the vacation. I think we should be following the rest of the school
I-
systems.
I don't like 2 weeks in March. I don't think, I know. I hear a lot of people, I know a certain percentage of people can afford to go on a vacation for 2 weeks, but overall as a community, I just don't feel like it's a good thing. And it gives you breaks, like Brian was talking about, like there's student fatigue when you're in school for so long, and it just breaks up the year more for
Since
everybody.
I've been on the
Yeah, I
board,
need your motion.
Sorry, go ahead, make your
I'm just not-
motion.
I just
She
wanna-
needs your motion.
We're
Okay.
really into discussion, so I just
All
want to
right.
make sure I'm clear about what your motion is. Your motion
Okay.
is,
I'll make a
as it stands right now,
motion.
to accept the original calendar
It sounds
with the
like we need more
revised date.
discussion before we make a motion.
I know,
No, you do your
You
motion
have
and
to
then
do
you
a
can
motion
Okay.
and
have
then there's
discussion.
discussion. Yeah.
My motion would
God.
be
Okay.
to start school on September 2nd and split the vacation back to the state February and April break. And I am not opposed to keeping that vacation day, but honestly, I don't,
What the
that
one on the
4th, I don't have any strong feelings about that, but I'll just say, take it out.
Well, we would gain
We would gain a
days.
day here, so I
in
think it's a
February
good
and
thing
April.
for snow days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So your motion is?
My motion is to take this calendar we have, but take the vacation days and put them 1 week in February, 1 week in April, and get rid of that Friday vacation.
Second.
That's my
All in
motion.
favor?
Okay. Let's give us a second to just record this
Okay.
before we go further.
2 to 3. No, what was that?
Yep,
2
2
to
to
3.
3.
2 to
Yep.
3.
Take the 3 out.
I'm going to jump in and ask a
Yes,
clarifying question.
absolutely.
Okay, so obviously, some of it's around the vacations. Let's take one thing first. Let's talk about this Friday in September before Labor Day break, okay? If you go to school on that day, you're out of sync with Midcoast and other schools that are not going on that day. It's a request from your teachers to not go on the day. Again, it's not like a collective bargaining issue or anything like that, but it's a request from them.
Is there any context around the request? I mean, I'm just curious,
just
because I don't ever remember doing a 4-day Labor Day weekend.
And I don't know what what your traditions have been around that, if it's just,
I feel like.
Well, it's because
just a
we
request
always
we can't
start
give 'cause it's
after
messing
Labor
everything
Day.
up, so.
Due to where Labor Day falls.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a wacky
It's a
schedule
yeah.
already.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that there's,
but you have other schools that are doing that aren't going to school
Yeah.
on that day. So, so in a sense, our teachers ask that it coordinates with Midcoast, it's one day, so.
but it's right after the summer break.
Yep,
Right.
sure, yeah.
Well, can
Why
I
do we
make
need a 4-day
another
weekend?
motion then to leave that Friday in, but put the vacations in February and April and start school on the 2nd for students?
Second.
Hey, don't go fast.
Yeah, let her get it.
Sorry. Motion to
Second.
start on the 2nd, split the
No.
vacations
Yeah.
again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, take vacation day out.
This calendar,
leave
but
it
with
in.
February and April breaks.
No, take the
Oh, I
Friday
see.
vacation day out, right?
No, leave it in. I'm compromising there.
Motion to start on September 2nd,
Right.
back to February, April, right?
Mm-hmm.
Matt, you second?
Yep.
All in favor?
This
2 to 3.
Would you like to have a calendar
I would
workshop in
just
2.5
like to
weeks when
say
we-
that I don't think that we can just decide in a meeting without having had any discussion about it recently, certainly not with the staff or the community, that we're just going to stop doing the March break. I think that needs to be a larger discussion.
I agree.
I think we need to send, then at this point, I think you need to let me send a survey out to parents and ask them to do, we'll set up a survey, I'll have Randy help me, one response per household. Once you've answered, you can't do a second response that we don't, and we'll ask specific questions. What do you prefer? Let's ask the question about before Labor Day. Let's ask the March, I don't ever want to do it again. I like it alternating. I would prefer you keep it,
And
I want to give some context around my motion and how, like, my feelings around the calendar. So, my personal opinion is, starting after Labor Day just makes sense to me, because, for one thing, the weather in June stinks. So I'd much rather have my kids in school in June, later, when the weather stinks. And in September, it tends to be nicer. So you're either getting it on one end or the other. Also, I agree with Brian about pushing the March break up, I think, to try to even out those weeks, in school between the vacations. But as far as eliminating March break, I will never vote to do that. I think that's been probably the biggest question I get asked since I've been on the board is, are you guys going to get rid of March break this year? Like, that's what people get enthusiastic about, and I think that it's always worked to do a compromise and do every other year. Does it work with other schools in the state? Does it work with Midcoast? No, but we've done it, and I'm not in favor of eliminating that, so I'll never vote to not do the every other year March break.
Well, I think that the frustrating thing was, we give them 2 weeks, but people still take their kids out for a month, and they're missing school. So there needs to be some form of repercussion for that, because it's like, you're doing something no other school district gets to do. So now, and then you still take your kids out for a month or a month and a half, and you're missing school. So it's like, what's the point of the 2-week vacation?
Or a week
if you're
totally randomly in the middle, it's like.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
There's
or
a lot of-
randomly take them out. It's like, so
There's a
what's the
lot
point
of-
of that 2-week?
But we're not going to control that no matter when we put breaks
We
in.
won't, but I think that,
If people want to go on vacation, they're going to go.
That's why I think it should be back to the standard, because I feel like people go when they want to go anyway,
Exactly.
and even with April.
Okay, but then you have your
people are-
school staff, so if they want to go to Florida and they want to drive, a teacher, by the
But they get
time
a
the school
summer
gets
off.
out in February,
Nobody wants
they
to go to
drive down,
Florida in
that's
the
2 or
summer.
3 days. They've got 3 days to spend there, and then they have to turn around and come back. Like, I think the 2 weeks in March is taking into account our staff vacation. Sue?
I have a little bit of historical perspective. I
Yeah.
know Tina definitely was here. we started the 2-week in March break to help with absenteeism in the wintertime. The reason was, people were taking their kids out for 2 weeks around the February vacation, 2 weeks around the April vacation, 2 weeks in March, even though there was school. And so we did it the first year, and, you know, some people liked it, some people didn't. Every year, Amanda sent out a survey to parents, and almost every year it came back half and half.
50-50.
Yeah, 50-50. Parents, it did not cut back on absenteeism. Parents still decided when to take their kids. I mean, we have, I've seen it, and know people, you know, you've got your break in February, like this year, and a break in April. So they have a week off in February, they take 2 weeks off in March, and then they have another week off in April. So they're going to do what they're going to do. And I think Ally's right in saying let's take into consideration what's best for our staff too.
I mean,
It doesn't really
they get
matter
the
to me.
summer
I'm
off.
not
Most
working
people
here,
have to
so.
work
yeah.
12 months a year. So that's how I look at it, because I
I'm
work
just going
full-time,
to say,
so.
Matt, I disagree with you. Teachers do not get the summer off. Teachers work through
No,
the
I know.
summer. So they don't have to be in the classroom
Right,
5 days a week, but they do not get the summer off.
right. Not like off, yeah. You're right.
No.
I would like to make a motion to keep the top calendar the way it is, but have the workshops on the 28th of August and the 31st of August, have the first day of school on the 1st, keep that Friday vacation day in, and move March break down a week.
You're gonna have to say that again.
No.
I know that.
No. So workshop days are the 28th and 31st of August. The first day of school for kids is the 1st. The vacation day on September 4th stays. And March break is from the 22nd of March to the 2nd of April. And I bet because Labor Day is so late, maybe the spring sports might get
First day, and what about the 4th?
Take
Fingers crossed.
That's what I
vacation
missed.
stays,
Vacation stays. Okay, got
vacation
it.
stays.
vacation days.
And then move March break,
Move March break
1
back.
week.
Okay, is everybody
I
clear?
can second, yeah.
Okay.
All in favor? I'm gonna make a motion that we have a separate calendar workshop after April break.
Okay.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
great.
Anybody want a
second that.
second? Sue second? All in favor?
Okay.
Something we can agree on. Yeah.
I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn at 6:27.
Second.
Penny seconds, all in favor.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I never read that.
Oh, hold on. Yep, we need to do a,
We need
Make
to
a motion to re-adjourn. Not re-adjourn,
restart.
Reassemble.
she can just withdraw her motion.
I'll withdraw that motion.
Yep.
Sue seconded it.
Sue. But she's gonna withdraw the motion, so it's okay.
No, I'm still back on the calendar.
Yeah.
Still on calendar.
Okay, so I'm withdrawing my motion to adjourn.
Okay.
And I need to know when, I know people are going away, I need to know when they're back so I can look at scheduling that. I just don't know the dates. before
23rd
that.
was when I'm back.
30th.
30th. Do you know when are people back from?
23rd.
Oh, okay, everybody's back 23rd. Okay.
Penny's
Except Penny's
not.
not back till 30th. Okay, thank you.
All right, I need to motion to approve the 26-27 budget in the amount of
Back to
5,460. I did that though. Didn't we approve the budget?
That she did. Yes.
You just didn't say the amount. You just said,
Yeah.
I would like to make a motion to approve the FY '27 budget.
I'll do this then.
But it's all you need, we just need to know that you guys
We
are in
approved the.
agreement of the
All right,
final budget
but then you
numbers
need the
for
capital reserve thing. I'll make a motion to transfer 60,000 from capital reserve to offset the maintenance, purchase, repairs, and maintenance service.
You gotta start over.
Hillary told me to read that.
We're taking 60? Yep, okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting,
Getting a little punchy.
Flustered.
Motion to
Stay in
transfer
your lane.
60,000 from capital reserve to offset the maintenance, purchased repairs, and maintenance services, 320,000 from undesignated funds, and 100,000 from sped reserve to offset increased special ed costs.
I'll second.
Sue seconds, all in favor.
Super sorry. We're gonna put an ad in the wind for a new HR person tomorrow.
Motion to adjourn again at 6:29.
Second.
Penny seconds,
Again.
all in favor.
Thank you.
I'm moving to Florida. I'm out of here. I'm going to Florida. I'm gonna go be a waitress.
Very long vacation. All
I can
right.
be a waitress. It is
You
less
can be a
pressure.
waitress. You have some
I
experience
do,
in
and
that.
I think, you know what, I enjoy that job.
Tina, certainly.
Thank you, Ellen.
Every time I hear the word certainly, I think of Tina working at the Haven.
You dork.
What?
You called me a dork one day.
Thank you for the warrants.
Thank you.
Were you offended by that? I feel like I remember you
Must
not,
have been offended. I still remember you calling me
you being displeased that I called you a dork.
So you're not sending a calendar survey?
Thanks, Ally.
Bye, Ally. Matt, have a good vacation.
Thank you very much.
Don't get sunburned.
what shuts
It's easy to
everything
get
off?
sunburned,
Bill, I think, just shut
especially
it
for
off.
your feet. My feet got sun. Jerry and I both had sunburn on tops of our feet.
It's like the worst place to get sunburned.
It wasn't too bad, but it was like, how did this happen?
Gotta wear shoes.
Well, we were on the beach.
Were you?
No, we went to Paul's Island, south of Myrtle Beach. Yeah, it's a very sweet, quiet place. No, I couldn't bring myself to go. It's so expensive.
It is so amazing there.
Holly's Beach, Holly's Island,
Holly's.
I guess there's extra copies there. I lost my lid to my,
Oh, there it is.
So I was not, it was hard. Hard to be on vacation and have that stuff in your face.
Yeah, no kidding.
I did not appreciate it, but when we were where we were, Jerry said he saw one